Good morning, everybody. A huge happy new year to all of you lovely Technique Tuesday followers. It's great to be back, and this is a short little broadcast from me today just to let you know where we are, kind of what we're doing, things that are coming up, all of that kind of stuff. And I have just noticed, watching myself back in the video, as I obviously do, I'm wearing exactly the same colour as the backdrop, so I sort of blend in, but never mind. Now, you might be watching this broadcast lots of ways. You might be watching it live on Facebook. If you are, a very good morning to all of you. You might be watching it on catch up via the website or YouTube. No matter how you are accessing it today, you are very welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now, it is, like I said, going to be a short broadcast this morning, but where would we be without acknowledging those people who have taken the time and trouble to log into Facebook and watch it live? So let's give you a shout out. Ali D gets the award for the first comment of the first Technique Tuesday broadcast of the year. Good morning. Who else have we got in the room? Martina, Anita, good morning. Lynn, Rosie. Rosie says it's soggy in France. Soggy down here as well. You've obviously got the same weather as us. But Jilly is saying it's sunny in Morpeth. I'm very glad for you. Linda, Happy New Year to you too, and to Kathy as well. Morning, Mr. Templeman. Sup. Joe, welcome back all. Hope you're all well. Looking forward to our next project. Thank you, Joe. That's awesome. Who else have we got? Joy in Foggy Cotswolds, Heather, who else have we got? Val, Ali WT, my mum, who's apparently multitasking and having her haircut at the same time. Well done, mum. Julie over in Oz, Hilary P, good morning. Alice, Gary says, surely my new opening graphics should say be with you. I did think about that, Gary. There's a pun and then there's pushing it too far, isn't there? And I thought everyone would sort of facepalm. That's why I didn't do that, but I did think about it. Who else have we got? Maureen, Happy New Year to you too. Oh gosh, they're coming in thick and fast. Anne B, D, one of our lovely admins. Good morning, lovely. Angie, Sally, two Sallys, Sally W, Sally R. Lots of people doing things, and Joe as well. Right, what is this morning all about? This morning is all about letting you know what's coming up and where you can find things, because I know that a few of you out there get a bit confused between the various Facebooks, websites, and all of that kind of stuff. So what I thought I would do, good morning Michelle, who's having a sneaky tune in on her coffee break. What I thought I would do is I would take you through all of the stuff that I've got coming up. Some of the projects, can't tell you all of them yet. Some of them I can tell you about, but there is lots more going on. I have a whole list of notes down here, so if I keep glancing down, it's simply because I've got to remember what it is I've got to say next. I want to tell you all about Plan B, so the pun is in there. Good morning, Rosemary. And I want to tell you about Future Technique Tuesdays and the programme events. Now, it's not the most exciting broadcast because it's like a bit of sort of housekeeping, isn't it? But what I am hoping is that it will help you to completely understand where you find things and how you access the various bits and pieces that I do. And then you can refer back to this video if you forget where it is that you're supposed to be looking for something. Now, Ali is saying that I'm buffering. Nobody needs that. I don't think it's me, Ali. I think that is your internet, unfortunately, my lovely. But keep refreshing. It's all good. So lots of things to fill you in. But the first thing I thought I would do this morning is to kind of describe to you where the difference between Alison Seaboard and learning to paint, okay? So there's two different variation of things. Obviously, both of them are me, but one is me as an artist and one is me as a tutor. So I thought what I would do is I would take you through all of those things and where you can find them, and then hopefully it won't be as confusing. So let us take you through where you find things if you want to access what I do as a tutor. So that is things like this. So Technique Tuesday, it's my classes, it's the workshops that I run, all of those types of things. Basically me as a tutor, and that is learning to paint. So let's show you a few little graphics and I can take you through various bits and pieces. So the graphic you should be seeing now shows both the Facebook group and my Instagram and the website. So on the left hand side you have the Facebook Learning to Paint group. Now of course if you are watching this live on Facebook then you'll already be on that page, but if you're watching this via another platform then you might be interested in joining that group. It is a private group so that we're able to share our paintings and we don't have to worry about lots and lots of people seeing them. So you can see there it says Learning to Paint with Alison Seaboard. So if you go to your search bar, you put in Learning to Paint with Alison Seaboard and you can request to join that group. Now, like I said, don't get confused if you're watching this already on Facebook because you're already on that page. But you might also want to access me via Instagram. So you can see that is Learning to Paint with ACB. So you can find me on Instagram as well. And then obviously on the right hand side is the website. So that is learningtopaint.co.uk. So there's a kind of link there, all going under the Learning to Paint banner. So if you want to find my classes, you want to hear more about what I'm doing in terms of tuition, if you like to watch these broadcasts, all of that kind of thing, that is what you need to look for, the Learning to Paint logo and the Learning to Paint name that goes with it. But there's a whole load of other things that I do with myself as an artist. So that's not necessarily teaching you things, but that is stuff that inspires me, or that is collections of my work. I've got some really big exhibitions coming up this year. So that is me as an artist. And then that is Alison Seaboard. So again, there you've got the graphic that you're seeing now. Good morning, everybody who I haven't said good morning to yet. Linda D, Fran and Christine, good morning. So there you have a similar thing. So you have got on the left, you've got my Facebook page, Alison Seaboard Artist. In the middle, you've got Ali Board Artist on Instagram. That is, I put a post out every single day on Instagram, particularly talking about Plan B at the moment, which I'll get to. And there is my website on the right-hand side, alisonseaboard.co.uk. So if you want to hear about what I'm doing, if you want to access my work, if you want to support me as an artist in my own right, then you want Alison Seaboard or Ali Board Artist. If you Google any of those things, they will come up. Okay, so just to recap, Learning to Paint, that's my tuition. Alison Seaboard is me as an artist. You just know it though, don't you? There's a big but coming, but there is an overlap. Okay. Good morning, Thea. Good morning. Lovely to have you with us. Now, the overlap is my brand new project for 2022. Now, I'm sure a lot of you know about it already, but I'm going to give you a bit more information. And that project is called Plan B, B-E-E, okay? Now, Plan B, I'm going to kind of go over to the website now to explain what it is, but that is accessed on the Alison Seaboard page, and I'm going to take you over to the website now so that you can see it. So if you go to my website, alisonseaboard.co.uk, that is the facing page. The paintings change. You can see it kind of scrolls through, and up at the top, let me get it to flash. Can you see it's flashing up there in the corner? It says Plan B blog, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it. We've got a couple of posts in there already, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you that statement that's on the right hand side. Now, this is an artist statement. Now, I don't know if any of you have come across artist statements before, but they are really useful. They're useful for you to understand what the artist is trying to achieve, and they're useful to an artist as well for kind of really making it come to life and to understand a project better. So there you can see it says Plan B blog just on the right hand side. Alison Seaboard embarks on a project that she hopes will inspire and educate her to better understand her little corner of the Dorset countryside. With no horticultural conservation experience, Ali plans to redesign the garden of her studio and understand the ecosystem that lives there, with a view to changing it for the better in a world that desperately needs our help. Along the way, she will investigate methods of making her creative practice more ecologically aware, including aspects such as the materials she uses, impact of her studio, and long-term sustainability. Now, what does all that mean? What that means is, in terms of, obviously, I teach and I love what I do. I love passing information on to you guys, and I create a load of work as well. But there can sometimes be a thread that is required to make my work kind of come to life a bit more, to be as inspirational as it can, both for myself and for you guys out there too. So I started Plan B on the 1st of January, and all I'm trying to do, I'm no gardener. If you've been watching any of my Instagram posts, you will understand that I'm no gardener. And I'm just trying to rebuild the garden of the studio to make it a little more animal friendly, pollinator friendly, to understand it a bit more, to understand the place where I live, but also to feed a bit of information into things like Technique Tuesday, into the classes that I run, all of that kind of stuff. Now, I'm going to be using some of those posts to really heavily influence Technique Tuesday, because one of the reasons you are here is because I'm guessing not only do you like to see the way I paint, but you are interested and inspired by the same kind of subject matter as me. So that's the wildlife, landscapes, plants, all of those kinds of things. Mick is even writing a poem for me at the moment. How marvellous. So that is what Plan B is all about, and it's really going to grow. See what I did there? It's kind of going to expand because as I get to learn a little bit more, and as I get to gather a bit more information, it's going to get bigger and bigger, hopefully. Now, we're going to start in very simple terms. So next week will be the first proper demonstration of Technique Tuesday. Oh, good morning. There's somebody very special has popped up in the room this morning. Mr. Jones has popped up in the room this morning. Good morning, Alan. Very nice to have you. And Catherine's here as well. All my elbow friends are in the room this morning. Thank you for tuning in. Now, I've completely lost the thread of where I was. Yes, next week is going to be the first proper demonstration, and we're going to do a herb project. Now, why herbs, you're asking yourself? We're doing herbs because that's kind of where I started in the garden. I didn't plan on it. There was a whole kind of series of posts that went out on Instagram last week all about oregano and about how it's really good for the health of my chickens. And I'm quite interested in building a herb garden, or certainly incorporating herbs in my garden. They're fantastic for pollinators anyway. And I think they're rather interesting to draw. So I thought we would start a herb project. Now, what I need you guys to do, this is all about you as well as me. I need to know what are the best herbs for pollinators. What particular herbs are things like bees and butterflies attracted to? Because not only do I want to plant those things in my garden eventually, when it all gets a bit warmer and less kind of drizzly and dank and horrible out there, but also because I've got a kind of idea for a painting which I think you're going to enjoy. So I want to know which are the best herbs to use. We started with oregano. Somebody else has mentioned sage as well, and I want to hear from you guys. How are you going to let me know? Stick it in the comments right now. Let me know what sort of herbs I need to include in my garden so that we can use them as inspiration for our painting, and also to double up so that I can pebble dash my garden with them. Now already things are coming in. So we've got Michelle who is saying lavender and thyme. Ooh, thyme, I hadn't thought about that. I have got a small amount of lavender in my garden already. I'm very bad at growing it, so I need to get better at that. And it would be lovely to paint, wouldn't it, lavender? Hilary P is saying chives have lovely flowers. And Michelle is agreeing that bees love the chive flowers. Lavender coming in, rosemary coming in. Lots of people saying chives, so that's a good one, isn't it? Angie is saying insects love marjoram, Russian comfrey. Lots of people telling me to do a spreadsheet borage. Oh, so this is brilliant, marvellous. Chives and garlic chives. I love Italian cooking, so that would work well, wouldn't it? So this is brilliant. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted your input as much as mine, okay? So keep those suggestions coming in. And what I thought I'd do, just in case you hadn't seen my Instagram post go out, I thought you might like to see where I've sort of started already kind of plotting and planning in my head. Now, this is a little sketchbook that I treated myself to at Christmas. Always buy myself a little Christmas gift. It's usually art related. Now, so we've got other suggestions coming in. Joe is saying chives are very robust. They can be ignored in the garden and keep coming back. This works for me, Joe. Mint, Alan is saying bee balm, part of the mint family. Okay, don't know about that. We'll look that up. And Lynn is saying that bees like an untidy garden. That's really good news, Lynn. And Ali is saying that a particular friend of ours, Fiona, needs to catch up with this. Yes, I was talking to Fiona a lot yesterday, Ali, so I have already got some advice from her. Thank you very much. Now, this is the sketchbook that I treated myself to. This is a Hannah Mule sketchbook, and I loved it because, look, it's got kind of a pale grey paper in it, which I thought was rather unusual. It's a kind of unusual format as well because it's square. But when, of course, you open it up, you've kind of got a nice letterbox format. Now, I've already started. Now, we had, in one of my membership groups, in the All Aboard Artists, we had a whole discussion just before Christmas about how sketchbooks can hinder you, because lots of people were saying that they don't like getting a new sketchbook and then having to make something beautiful on the first page. So the answer is don't paint on the first page, and don't even paint on the second page or third page if you don't want to. All I did with my sketch was I started in the middle of the book. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be in chronological order. And so here is a little 5-10 minute sketch that I did in the garden last week of those oregano plants. I was playing about with all the things I love, a bit of granulating watercolour, a bit of spattering, and of course the thing that you know if you're a regular of Technique Tuesday that I really like to do, that kind of illustrative writing. I need to work on that text a little bit more, but this is a great place to start. So a little sketch, and maybe we'll do another one of those this week before we start the project. Lots of information coming in, lots of people saying keep mint in pots as it spreads rapidly. What else is saying? Rosie is saying plant flower pots with mint. The roots will be contained and stop invasion. Yes, I think all of this. I love that we're getting gardening tips as well as art tips. And Lynn is saying that she likes my little sketchbook. It is a neat one, isn't it? It's really kind of cute. I do like it. And actually the paper stood up to lots of water as I was painting. I did a bit of pen and quite a lot of wash. And yes, absolutely, Sally, I did do it in the midst of a class I was teaching. Not while I was teaching, I have to say, I am more professional than that. I did pop out in our lunch break and do the sketch. So I hope that kind of helps you with what we're doing and how we're doing it. Next week, like I said, same place, same time, 10 a.m. On Tuesday on the Learning to Paint Facebook page. I will start the herb project. I've got a small starting point in my head, conversation that I had with my mum about a particular mushroom picture that is in her kitchen. Only she will know what I am talking about. So we're kind of going to run with this and we'll see where we get to. But don't disappear on me yet. Rosie is asking, what are the details of the sketchbook? Again, Rosie, I bought it through the SAA and it is a Hannah Mule sketchbook. What I will try to do is put the link to it in the comments as after the broadcast, okay? Unless anybody who is SAA related is still in the chat and can do that for me. Yes, Joe is saying loving all the suggestions. Brilliant, isn't it? That's what I love about our community. We kind of inspire each other and help each other out. Now, like I said, don't disappear on me. I'm glancing down at my notes. I have some big news to share with you, okay? There are lots of projects projects that I've got coming up in 2022. Some of the projects are things that I'm working on, like Plan B, working on myself. Some of the projects are things that you can get involved with, such as Technique Tuesday. And then there's some really big projects that I'm involved with. Now, the first one, which you may have seen I announced at the weekend, is something that I am fantastically proud of. I have been able to announce in the last week or so that the SAA have invited me to become one of their professional partners. Now that is a big honour for me. There's a dozen or so artists that were selected to become ambassadors for the SAA, but also to help to shape their membership and how they go about things. And that is a massive honour for me. So thank you very much to the SAA team for the invitation for that. I'm really excited about where that's going to go and the things that are to come. And I'm even more excited about working collaboratively with those other artists. It's going to be an awesome year. Now, I have another big project coming up with the SAA, which unfortunately I can't tell you about yet, but keep your eyes peeled. It is going to be a big one, and it is coming soon. So you just kind of have to keep your spidey senses out for that. If you're not sure about who the SAA are, then pop over to the Learning to Paint website, because there's lots of information on there about the SAA and links for how you can get involved and become a member too. So do pop over to that. Now, another big project that I've got, which kind of incorporates Plan B. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Anita. Anita's just put the link up in the live Facebook chat to the Hannah Mule sketchbook. Thank you, my lovely. That's really kind of you. Now, another big project for me coming in the middle of the year, which, like I said, incorporates Plan B and my work, and where you can actually come and visit the studio, and that is Dorset Art Weeks. It doesn't usually happen every year. It usually happens biannually, but because of lockdown, the Dorset Visual Arts team decided to do it both last year and this year as well. So let me give you the dates for that. So that is the 14th to the 29th of May. You will be very welcome to come to the studio. You can sit in the garden, you can talk to the chickens, you can come and chat to me about your artwork, and you can find out more about what I do, and you can see where I broadcast Technique Tuesday from. You can see my work in the flesh. So if you happen to be down in Dorset during that time, I'm going to be open from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. unless you'd like to come and visit the studio at a different time, in which case I will open it up specially for you. All you have to do is let me know. So just to remind you, that is the 14th to the 29th of May. The kettle is always on. You'll be very welcome for a cup of tea, cup of coffee, and a biscuit or two at any time. Now, I know some of you out there, Rabina has put in exclamation marks, because I know Rabina was somebody, and Fran and the Chesel Art team also came and visited me last year, and it's such a fun event. I just love it. Because it will be Plan B oriented this year, it's going to be a very different one for me. It's going to be all about the garden. I'm going to be displaying new work, some of my classic work. But you'll be able to talk about anything and everything to do with what I do, and you'll be able to come and support me too. There'll be lots of goodies for sale, and maybe the odd collaborative piece or two. We're working on that at the moment. And the last big piece of news that I have for you before we say our goodbyes today is that the All Aboard Artists. So the All Aboard Artists is a membership scheme that I run, where we've created this incredible community of artists. You don't need to be proficient. You can be just at the beginning of your art adventures, or equally you can be about to turn professional, semi-professional, anything in between. And what I try to do is create a big community of artists where we come together on a monthly basis, and we swap information, we do tutorials, we have critiques, all sorts of things. But that's undergoing a big change. It's going to become much bigger, much more inclusive. There's going to be lots of variations on levels of membership that you can enjoy. That news is going to come to you around about June. It starts in July, and I'm really looking forward to making the changes for that. So As you can tell, lots of things on the horizon for me. And yes, Heather is very kindly saying, mind you look after yourself too. Do you know what, Heather? You guys are my absolute inspiration. You are always the people that look out for me and take care of me. So together with you and my Plan B project, I promise I will look after myself. Thank you ever so much to everybody who has tuned in this morning. Don't forget those differences. Please do rewind the tape and kind of look back at the information so that you know where to find things. But I will be back again next Tuesday. So that's Tuesday the 18th of January on the Learning to Paint Facebook page or afterwards on Catch Up. And we will start our herb project together. And how exciting is that going to be? I've got lots of suggestions from you now. So I'm off to do a little bit of research and to get that project ready. So until I see you either virtually or in person, take lots and lots of care of yourselves, won't you? And we will catch up very soon. Bye, lovely people.